Okay guys, try that again. We're going live again. Don't believe launch window has been opened officially, but pilots can launch whenever they like once the task briefing is finished. So they are launching. So guess what that means? It means we have a task to fly today, which is good news. We didn't think that was going to happen. I'll just pan around here. Hopefully you can see the weather. It's a little bit ominous over there, but the radars are just showing rain that's looking to break up, so hopefully we should be fine. Anyway, these pilots are making sure they're in the air as early as possible. And I believe the start gate opens at, was it 2:30, Darren?
2:30.
2:30, so they've got a bit of time. Alright, I might position myself up the other end of launch so we can see them flying off to the left-hand side, so bear with me. Zip through.
Hi there.
Hey. Alright, as per yesterday, if you've got any questions or anything, feel free to throw them in the comments area. Hey. So if you saw Snowy's rundown on what a task actually means, you might have picked up that the starting cylinder or start gate is much wider today than it was yesterday, so we're not likely to see that incredible sight of the gaggle directly over launch like we had yesterday. I'll probably be trying to get as much height here and then move out of the way. A lot of the pilots yesterday said it was quite mentally exhausting being in such close proximity with each other for about an hour. And as you saw, they were very close to each other yesterday. Yes, Ian, you might get tired of typing that after 125 of them have left the hill. I hope you can see that gaggle out there. I did notice when I watched it again last night that the wings are so hard to see on film, which is a bit disappointing. I was busy quizzing one of the PWCA experts this morning, finding out a bit about the rules for launching, and I'll touch on that a bit later. But one of my key questions was, when you've got a large launch window, and today's is a 2-hour launch window, I believe, I asked Ulrich, is there any strategy that comes into play with pilots? Like, is it best to launch first? Is it best to wait until half the field of launch so that you can see where the thermals are, see where to head to? And he just looked at me blankly. He says, but they want to fly. I said, well, yes, I understand that, but, you know, surely some strategy comes into this. You know, do they wait till last? And he just went, but they just want to fly. So I gave up asking that question. Apparently they just want to fly. And I think this probably confirms that as well. Launch window isn't even open officially, and they're all up and flying. Yes, we do. Although I can assure you there's no low-hour pilots that want to fly or launch in front of these guys. Nothing like a bit of performance anxiety. Now, if you did watch Snowy's review, oh, someone down in the bushes down there. If you did watch Snowy's review on the task, you might have picked up that the final goal point is actually down at the Mystic landing zone, which is nice and easy for all the transport drivers this afternoon. It's pretty much at the bottom of the hill here. It's not a particularly big landing site, so if we're getting large groups of people coming through all at once, it could make for some interesting landings, so I'll make sure we're down there doing a live feed for that as well. There was a comment the other day when I posted one of the live feeds that it was nice to see that even people at this level can still have messy launches. And whilst I agree, we must remember that these wings are pretty high performance. They're very tetchy. Any kind of crosswind across launch can cause problems. Knots in lines, all the standard stuff we have to deal with, knots in lines, lines over. And there is a little bit of pressure. You've got other pilots lined up behind you, waiting to take your gate or your slot. So that was one of the other questions I asked though today was, are there time limits for launching? Are you allowed to stand there and wait for the perfect bit of wind? Apparently here at this level, they just rely on the pilots mostly to ensure that everyone gets off the hill in a timely manner. No one wants to really stand around wasting time. So they tend to self-monitor. But we do have a launch marshal who keeps an eye on all things, and if someone's taking too long or they're trying to unknot their lines or anything like that, they will be asked to move to one side. But there is no definitive or preset time limit, and there's also no limit to how many launches they can do. Anyway, hope that bit of information was useful. I don't know if you can hear that sound, but man, wings filling with air. It's a great sound. Alright, Ian has asked, what is Marcus like today? Marcus seems to have some good lift. I don't know if you can see the gaggle, but there's one in close proximity to where Marcus would be up there. No one seems to venture down to Emily. Ian's also asked, what's the cloud cover like? It's pretty thick. I'll see if I can give you a scan of the area. So it's definitely a grey day, but with patches of blue trying to show through occasionally. There's one. There's a couple. Unfortunately, we're not flying in that direction immediately. But yeah, not dissimilar to yesterday. It did look like this yesterday, and they are definitely getting more height than they were yesterday, so that's a good thing. Is there a maximum weight? Okay, I did learn this yesterday. There's a set of scales at launch here, and there is another set of scales when they land, and they will pick some random people, but I believe they also pick the winner will need to be weighed when they get down. Now the reason for that is they are allowed up to a maximum of 33 kilos of ballast, I believe, or 33. Oh, yeah, I should have asked this question a bit better, I think. It's either 33 kilos over their body weight, which I guess equates to ballast anyway. So yeah, they're allowed 33 kilos extra. If they're over that, they start getting penalised. I'm not sure what the penalty is, but obviously the more ballast they take, the larger the wing that they could fly. So I believe that's the logic behind that cap. Hope that helps. Ian says he's going to be here in 3 weeks. Can we keep some good weather? Well, I'm here for the next 2 weeks, so I'm bagsing all the good weather, Ian. I might leave you some. Seeing you ask so nicely, Ian, I'll speak to the weather gods, see what we can do. Can I just check that everyone can hear okay and not too much wind noise? I'm just trying to shelter my speakers a bit more than I had previously. Oh good, thanks Ian. Alright, so we've kind of got two gaggle areas. We've got the people out at front sort of launching into Marcus, trying to get some height. Then once they've done that, they're just pretty much moving directly ahead of us like they were yesterday, but definitely higher than they were yesterday. Still as beautiful though. Some more blue sky starting to sneak through over there, which is great. It's definitely not as cold as it was yesterday, so they might find the lift working a little bit better. For anyone that was following the race yesterday but didn't see the live feed, There's about 50 pilots that made it to the end of speed section. But unfortunately, only about 26 of them made it over the goal line, which was a bit heartbreaking for them. It was a pretty tough day. All right, looks like we might have some pilots who don't want to fly. An unusual breed. Launch controller is asking if anyone wants to leave the hill. No one's rushing. It might be because it's a little bit busy directly out in front. Marcus is a bit busy.
If anyone wishes to launch, let me know. We will make a space for you.
And silence was the stern reply. No one's keen. All right, we'll just watch this gaggle for a while. It's one I prepared earlier. All right, everyone's supposed to be doing right-hand turns out there. Trying to keep some semblance of order to these gaggles. I believe once they're through the start gate, then they can turn whichever way they want in future gaggles. Oh, there we go, bit of wind. Makes me laugh. There'll be periods where no one will launch and then suddenly they'll just all go off together. It's quite beautiful. Okay, so we'll just have another look at those gaggles. There's one directly out in front. They're clearly getting some good height now, which is great. And once they reach the top of that, there's another gaggle up here somewhere. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Yeah, they're just, oops, they are directly above launch. More over there. Alright, we'll get back to launch. Some of these wings come up so easily, and others, their wingtips, they're just really tetchy. Just the nature of the wing, I think. Launch controller just checking that no one is desperate to launch, in which case he'd make one of these guys pull their wings to one side so someone behind them could launch, but no one's in a rush. I can't see the time, guys. I know that the official start is 2:30. How much longer have we got? Could someone type that in? "13 minutes, cool. Alright, well, these guys are getting towards the end of the launch window. particular gaggle's starting to get quite high, as you can see. Actually, I shouldn't say this particular gaggle. There is only one gaggle at the moment. They've all come back. So. Probably still got about another 10 to 15 wings on launch. Quick view of that gaggle.
Can you please put up like that? Please.
Alright, we've got someone launching from further down. It's a bit unusual. We'll see how it goes this time.
Aber ich warte noch auf ein bisschen mehr. Ja, ich auch.
Let's check that gaggle out again. I'm going to assume you guys don't get bored of this, because I certainly don't. His ballast is... He might end up a bit lighter than he'd anticipated. We'll assume that was ballast pouring out of the bottom of his wing, or harness I should say. can see up there, even though everyone's required to turn right, which they appear to be doing, when you get 2 or 3 different circles of people turning right, there is still that opportunity for intersection and a bit of mayhem. So, yeah, we'll stick with the terminology controlled chaos. Yeah, I think Ian's mentioned the dust rising up from the track over here. I think a couple of pilots have sort of been heading out that way. It's definitely a good sign. It's nice when the mountain bike riders do that for us. There's a bit of obvious air movement by throwing up some dust. Alright, let's go get amongst the action. Definitely down to our last few pilots now. Not quite sure what they're waiting for. Maybe a gust of wind. It's pretty still here at the moment.
Because you're going like this all the time. With the new gliders, they just run. Oh yeah, I can do that.
Do you have a new one?
No. No, I don't. I still have an old glider.
I have a G02. There's already a G05.
My glider is much older than that.
Yeah?
Okay. Heather?
I'll get it.
You okay? If it's crap tomorrow, you're keen.
Ian, does Dave want to launch last? You do know how he likes to have a chat. Chances are he'll definitely be the last one off.
7 more to go.
Alright, we've got 7 guys left, of which one I think is definitely Snowy. I'm just looking for him. Oh, there he is. He's actually on launch, Ian. Yeah, we'll go down. And he's quiet. Yes, he's not quiet anymore. Oh, Dave. Dave, Ian says he'll buy some more happy pants for you in a few weeks. Happy dance.
Oh, sometimes if I'm
Sorry?
if I'm accessing a tree, a tall tree,
Oh, don't ask me if you're zipped up. Which zip? Top? Yeah. Yes, you are.
you know, for a rescue, I'll probably spur up maybe. So you can get away quick. Just not that quick. But depends how high they are. If they're really high up, then I'd throw an access line on.
What was your housing?
Now, I'm not sure if that's Midori. If it is, then that's the female pilot that came in first yesterday.
Plenty of time.
She did good.
Still got 32 minutes to start gate. Don't worry about these lines. Over the top.
Right, okay, looks like the times may have changed or I misheard, but it's still 32 minutes till start gate opens.
There we go. See how that looks. I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll come back in a minute. I'll just lock up the car.
That is crazy.
Well, we didn't think we were going to see that same gaggle action that we did yesterday, but if we look up here, oh, I'm starting to get a sore neck. Where are they? There they are. They are just directly above us again. Oops. Much higher though, so we can't see the colours of the wings quite as well as we did yesterday. Just heard the dreaded word sinking, so just checking out these guys out the front. Just in case you were curious, they only get one opportunity to launch. If they bomb out, they can't come back up and relaunch, even if launch is still open. So you've got to make it count. That one's not looking too promising in front of us. But these guys are professionals, they can scratch very well. So let's see what happens. Looks like Emily might be getting hunted out. For those of you not familiar with the Bride area, there are actually two house thermals that live out the front of Mystic. One is over here, which is what most of the guys were heading for straight away, and that one's called Marcus. And then over here, just behind this ridge line here, is another one called Emily. So we'll see if we see that other glider come back up after reaching Emily. Hopefully so.
We all fly the safe little
Alright, old man, seeing you sitting on launch, clearly you've got nothing better to do. You are, just to remind us, you are one of the pilots, aren't you?
I'm actually trying to fly this.
Right, and what's your number?
My number is 1101.
Okay, so if anyone sees that flying over their house this afternoon, we know he's gone slightly off course.
As usual. So I've got an appointment at 4 o'clock actually.
Let me guess, with a brewery again?
No, with my hairdresser.
They've got their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. So
All right.
Really, it's just gone slack. We're waiting for this high cloud to just move through, and I can see some blue sky coming through and some spots of sunshine just in the valley. So I reckon it's actually going to go off. And for me, you know, I'm not in the race. I'm in T1 fun. Yeah, less serious.
Right. Okay, so now I was having a good chat to Ulrich this morning, trying to find out about, you know, how launches work and things like that. And I asked what I thought was a fairly intelligent, non-blonde question, which was, is there any strategy involved in launching when you choose when to launch?
Plenty.
Oh, really?
Plenty.
Okay.
If you're off early, you can get high early. You can get comfortable for later. And you also get anxious when there's a thermal going off and you've got to go. But basically, like those guys, half an hour in the air, topping out.
Yep.
You going?
You're off. All right. Thanks, Snowy. We'll get out of your way.
You've got to keep an eye on launch all the time.
Yep.
And optimise for the climb out.
All right. Now, no pressure, Snowy, but the entire world's watching you launch live here, so fly well. Ah, Snowy. He can be the biggest princess on launch. We love him though.
There's always second-hand gear going. People progress in the sport, so we want to get rid of their beginner wing and stuff like that. He's got changing the
All right, 24 minutes till start gate.
What time's it finished today? The start gate's at 3. What time is it? Yeah, but probably can't take 2.5 hours to start at 3. The stragglers would take for it. It's so easy earlier, wasn't it?
Right, so anyone who's not a paragliding expert, we're still waiting to see whether Snowy's going to do a forward launch or a reverse launch. Most people are choosing reverse launches. Gives you that little bit of an extra opportunity to see how your wings are coming up, check for line overs, any tangles, any leaves. I think Snowy's still waiting for a bit of wind to come up this hill. I think most pilots prefer a bit of wind when they're launching, helps bring their wings up. Forward launch. Ah, he performs well under pressure. Well done, Snowy. Nice launch.
Not that we would say anything.
Not quite sure why everyone's laughing there, but...
See how he goes under pressure.
yeah. Alright, so what have we got left on launch?
In the morning, okay, it goes, and then it just completely.
Right, I think this might be our last pilot.
That was really cool. That was really nice.
Alright, just going to see if I can find these gaggles again.
We're not used to it.
Right, oh God, they're always directly above me. Hang on, I'll see what I can find. There they are. Yeah, one big gaggle.
I saw it. Oh, that's really cool.
That one out for giving a teasing egg.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That pilot is so sweet. Every time she launches, she always yells out, "Thank you," even if nobody helped her. Maybe it's a thanks to the paragliding gods for another safe launch. Oh, Ian, Philippe has landed. Was Philippe that wing we were watching before that wasn't getting any height?
Enough height over their trees to glide out for the good landing area, not the no landing zones.
There's no landing zone landings were there?
Yeah, 8 yesterday.
Oh god. How far they go?
Oh, look, the PWCA system for this particular time is a 1 point penalty, sort of like a name change.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, if the same person reoffends, they're out of the competition. Because they're not allowed to fly on the local side to work. So if we did have
Oh, I was just overhearing the race coordinator's comments there. There were a couple of people got penalised yesterday for landing in no landing zones. For that they get penalised 1 point, which doesn't seem like a huge amount. But the downside is if they get caught one more time, they're actually completely out of the competition. Now, I'm not sure whether that's PWC rules or whether that's just local rules kicking in. But I do know that here, if you're caught landing in no landing zones 2 times, you are penalised with a no-fly mandate for 2 weeks. So, Ian, so Philippe's down in Shoeys, all right. I'm not sure where that is, but yeah, he won't be happy with that result, obviously. I hope it wasn't because anything went wrong. All right. Okay, all pilots are off launch and they are all either there or heading there as quickly as possible. I assume you can see them. So, unless anyone's got anything in particular they want to look at or any questions they want. Okay, Ian, so he's down right next to the Mystic landing zone. So, obviously didn't get any lift or there was something wrong with his wing or equipment, so that's a bummer. So, alright, well if no one's got any questions, we might just wrap this up. Oh, thanks Ian. It was lovely chatting to you. It's nice to have some feedback. And in an hour or so I'll head down to the goal area, which is at the bottom of the hill here, and we'll watch them coming in. It could be quite interesting, so if you get a chance, it's definitely worth tuning in for live coverage. Then we'll be seeing a whole heap of pilots coming into a relatively small landing area, so it should be good fun. Alright, well thanks guys, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure sharing it with you. Wish you could all be here. Seriously, if you ever get an opportunity to go and watch a live comp, it's definitely worth doing. It's pretty amazing. Alright, I'll see you all later. Thanks.